looking like the only person in that organization with class and grace. He's handled everything like a true professional. I saw him a couple days ago at the Soho House after the whole Charles Oakley incident. It was Melo, Sasha Vujacic, DeAndre Jordan hanging out there. The Soho House is pretty much like a club. It's like a members club kind of thing where, like, entrepreneurs, successful businessmen, they buy a membership and they know they're not going to be harassed and things like that. We're not going to talk about how I got in there. That's for another show. Check me out on the Black Buddha. We'll talk about that there. And Melo seemed calm. He seemed cool. He seemed all right being the guy to be the host. Taking somebody out of town, showing them New York. That's Melo. Melo loves it here. He's not leaving. In spite of Phil trying to send these cryptic tweets because I'm the Zen master, so I'm going to say things to rattle people up. Besides all of that, Melo's going nowhere. So eventually it's probably going to be a situation where it's either him or me. And I think 90% of New Yorkers are going to side with Carmelo Anthony at this point. Because if you trade him now, people know you're desperate, so you're not going to get the best offer. Let alone, he doesn't want to leave. And Phil, like an idiot, gave him the no-trade clause. I guarantee you now, if Phil didn't have that no-trade clause, Melo would be somewhere like in Toronto. Or maybe Memphis. Somewhere he would probably hate, but Phil was the one who gave the no-trade clause. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't know how upcoming free agents are looking around like, I don't want to go there. And I've been saying since day one, when Greg Monroe said, I'd rather go to Milwaukee than New York, that was so telling to me. I don't know how that wasn't telling to everybody else. Like, whoa, we got a problem. We got sun for Milwaukee? Milwaukee. We're talking about 2 degrees Milwaukee. We're talking about ain't nothing to do past 11 o'clock at night Milwaukee. Just keep that in mind. Also going on this weekend, you got the Elimination Chambers to determine the WWE champion heading into WrestleMania. This WrestleMania season, I don't know what to make of it. Everything is so up in the air. But I've seen a lot of the dirt sheets, a lot of people saying it's going to be Bray Wyatt. It's going to walk out of Elimination Chamber with the WWE Championship. I just don't see it. I think, if anything I know, we talk about James Dolan. Vince is stubborn too. Vince will force us to watch Cena Orton one more time on the big stage for the title because that's what he believes is best for business. So I think we're going to get that. I don't think you're going to put the belt on Cena and then 2 weeks later you take it off of him and give it to somebody else. If that was the case, you make AJ Styles lose it this Sunday instead at the Royal Rumble. So I think, that's what's going to happen there. I think Cena's going to retain, and we're going to get Cena Orton one more time at WrestleMania 32. The rest of the cards are really unnoticeable. You got the Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. It's Black History Month, so they're going to give Naomi the little look right there. She's not going to win. Come on, let's be realistic about it. Alexis retained the title. Heads to WrestleMania. Not sure where they're going to go from there. Mickie James is back. One of my favorite divas from back in the days. I look for her to beat Becky. Just because, she just came back. You're just not going to let Becky win. No, this is going to be dragged out. And I think Alexa Bliss turns good and Mickie turns on Alexa. And then we probably get that at Mania. That would make the most logical sense. But we're talking about WWE. They don't care what the marks think. So that's what you got there. Then you got the Tag Team Turmoil 4-way match. Look for American Alpha to keep it. I don't know what they're going to do with them for the title at WrestleMania. I possibly see them on the pre-show. I would have loved for the Revival to come up on NXT, but they just got booked for NXT TakeOver Orlando, so I doubt if they're going to be doing double duties that weekend. But we'll see. So we got all that out the way. UFC 208, Holly Holmes looks to rebound and catch the 148 title, newly created 148 women's title. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just not a big Holly Holmes fan anymore. And to be honest with you, this card is not as stellar as it should have been. That next two UFC 209 and 2010 cards are starting to look stacked, but the UFC 208 at Barclays not so much. Even though I'm looking forward to seeing Anderson Silva come back. It's been a while since he had a victory, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that's what's going on this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see what else pops up out there, and hopefully, again, James Dolan uplifts his band and free Oakley. We want Oakley back at the arena. We want Oakley back in New York. We want Ewing back in New York. Make the Knicks great again, James Dolan. Do what you got to do. Make some moves. I'm not telling you to sell your team because you're not going to sell your team. That I know because the guard is a cash cow. Optimism, the Rangers, MSG, cash cow. We know you're not going to sell it. But why don't you hire somebody that's going to do their job properly? Stop giving your friends and Coonies jobs or don't put a bandage on it by hiring Phil. Stop throwing money at the problem. Get the right people there. Make the Knicks great again. Because if you don't, we're going to go over your head and we're going to go straight to the commissioner. And he's going to have no choice but to do something. So that's a quick, emergency. We're talking about the state of the Knicks, the people versus James Dolan edition. Shout out to the New England Patriots for winning their fifth Super Bowl. Shout out to Tom Brady for cementing that he is the GOAT of all time. I don't want to hear Montana's the GOAT. Montana was 4-0 in Super Bowls. Yada, yada, yada. Montana didn't come back from 28-3. Montana wasn't playing in this offensive-driven league now. Montana didn't beat MVPs to get his Super Bowl rings. Stop it. Tom Brady's GOAT. They're going to rename the Lombardi Trophy after Belichick in about 10 years. Stop it, everybody. I'm not a Patriots fan, but we have to embrace greatness when we see it. We'll never see a dynasty like the Patriots again in all sports. That's just not how it's set up. So appreciate what the Patriots did. I did, besides the fact that I gambled on the game, but still appreciate what the Patriots did. Looking forward to the draft, see what the Jets and what the Giants will do. Hopefully Giants, I have a feeling that Forte is going to fall in their lap. I hope they pick him. We'll see. We got plenty of time to talk about the draft. We got plenty of time to talk about baseball warming up. I believe my Mets will be in contention for the division again, and I believe that the baby Yankees will be in contention for a wild card spot. But again, we got plenty of time to talk about that. This was the People versus James Dolan edition of Views from the City. Holler at you guys next week. Peace.